Good evening. This is Shitake News. Welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. I've updated the site. I finally got a little logo made. I'm kind of proud of it. I like the way it looks. Hopefully you can. It's easier to follow. I'd like to hear your opinions and thoughts on the sites. But yeah, let me know what you think. It's a rainy day here in Tokyo, but it wasn't cold at least. Nothing's worse than when it's cold and it rains. I've slept in that environment too many times to enjoy it now. Let's get started. Today's news. First up is a story. Now, this is from InfoWars. It's about Nick Fuentes, a young gentleman who, conservative, a bit extreme for my taste. I personally don't like the man. He has a way of going about things that I don't agree with, and I wanted to make sure that's clear. And now the reason I'm highlighting him is that despite me not liking who he is or how he speaks or what he talks about or how he goes about it, I fully support his right to speak. His speech is protected. Hate speech is protected. The only kind of speech I do not support is that calls for violence. So, as much as I do not like this young gentleman, I completely endorse and support his right to speak. Now, this brings me to an idea or a concept or something that some people see it differently, but the right for freedom of speech is given to you. Not given to you. You have it. It's something you are born with. It's like the right to blink. It's something that's yours. The government's role in that is to protect what is yours. They're not granting you this privilege. This is something that's yours. Their job is to protect it. That includes from other companies who try to infringe on it on American soil. Now we can't enforce this around the world, of course not. But in our own servers and in our own country, we should not be censored by anyone, company or whoever. No one has the right to take that away from us. This is something we're born with, and it's ours. We're going to go over a few of those today, the Bill of Rights, but freedom of speech, freedom to press, all of these are yours. When you're born, you don't have to sign off on anything to get these privileges or these rights. They're yours. So this young man, as much as I agree or disagree with him, that doesn't matter. Unless he called for violence, he should be allowed. And the reason I highlight it is because this is happening more and more. I do not like those who have money and power to take things that are ours. They may think he's okay. They may consider him a problem. Who are they to judge? That's not fair. That's not how the system works. That's not how we want to be. We don't want to be controlled at all. So, regardless of my opinion of him, which isn't positive, I support his right to be everywhere and anywhere he wants to be, so long as he doesn't call for violence. That's the only limit. If he decides to talk about whatever, it's fine. You don't have to listen to him. His right to speak isn't a right for me to listen. I don't have to hear a word he says. It doesn't matter to me. But he should have that privilege, or he shouldn't have something that's given that he's born with taken away. We'll leave it at that. Next up, another news I want to highlight was this: violence against women in the south of us. I've seen this firsthand. Now, my family's from Mexico. Most of my family resides still in Mexico. I know how bad it is. In our country, in the U.S., we're in a comfortable bubble. We don't see how it really is outside. They've never seen some of the savage thing that go on in the world. Although Mexico has gotten better, it's still lawless in some parts. The government isn't enough. No government will ever be enough to protect every single one of its citizens. its citizens must always protect themselves first. That brings me to the second right, the right to bear arms. I'm not encouraging people to go out and buy guns, but you have the right to protect yourself. My family lives in a one-road town. There's literally one road that goes from the start of the town all the way to the end. I don't even know where the police station is. I don't think my cell phone even gets reception in most of this area. It's in El Venado, Nayarit. And I can't rely on the government to take care of me. We have to take care of ourselves. So, I believe the second, the right to bear arms is an equalizer. No matter who you are, how old you are, no matter how strong I am or how big I am, it's an even fight if you have a weapon that could end my life. And if you deemed it necessary, then you should have the right to choose, to make that choice. If anyone is ever about to cause bodily harm to you, you have a right to protect yourself. Not a right to attack anyone. You have a right to protect yourself. And it's sad to see. I once saw a horrific story. Not a story, but a horrific scene in Mexico where they discovered remains because they were farming or harvesting organs from I believe, kidnapped victims. And whatever couldn't be sold was just discarded. And these were people discarded as pieces of meat. And it was just a terrible sight to see. Never forget that. And even after it was discovered, the remains weren't cleaned up for a long time. I remember it went days before finally somebody moved it was a semi-truck trailer. But I'll leave that story for another time. This is still happening. We're comfortable back home, but everywhere else in the world is pretty ruthless. Stay safe. Right now, the people are protesting because violence against women continues to happen in Mexico. And Mexico's a great place, but you can't hide whatever problems we have going on too. So, just want to make that news available to you. If you do decide to go visit down south, stay on the beaten path. Don't wander off into the wilderness. Don't go off on an adventure. You never know. Just keep safe. There's only so much a government can do to keep you safe. You have to do it yourself. But we'll leave that at that. Let's move on to the next news. Is William Barr. The sheer will of William Barr. Now, I put his Wikipedia profile up here because I wanted to highlight that this gentleman has been Attorney General before. I don't think he can be corrupted. I think he's one of those straight arrows, one of those guys that can't be bullied. I don't think even Trump can tell him what to do or not to do or manhandle him. I think this man has good ethics and morals, and he cannot be persuaded to deviate from it. He knows how things work. He's seen how things work, and that's why when he looked at certain investigation, he was wondering, why did this go down like this? This isn't usual. I know what business as usual is, and this seems shady. So we trust in Barr, and I hope he doesn't prove me wrong. I hope he stays loyal and he stays he proves to be uncorruptible. But I want to see what he comes up with. A lot of people are doubting him. I put some links that the feds, a lot of people are resenting him for opening up these investigations, and lawyers are skittish, and I think they should be. If you've done something wrong, I think you probably are going to be skittish. So I can't tell if this is Barr, how he's going about it. But if I think he's righteous, or he has the right intentions, I think he's going to weed out corruption, and I think that scares people. So all of these individuals acting nervous, I'm not sure if it's because Barr is ruthless or because Barr is coming for you because he might have done something. So regardless, I want him to do his job until he proves otherwise, until he does that something that's clearly unusual or clear signs of corruption. I want him to have free reign and go at whoever he thinks is shady. So I wish the best to Senor William Barr. I hope he continues on his investigations and he weeds out anything that needs to be weeded out. We'll leave it at that. The main news, the hottest topic, Mike and Hillary. Bloomberg is buying up everything left and right. He's averaging about $100 million a month. I don't like to see, politicians, or I don't like to see the people bought. I don't like to see votes bought, but his money is so vast. He's the 15th or the 15th. I think he's ranked 15th as far as wealthiest man in the world. And he's using that power to influence more and more of our election. Money shouldn't have this much of an influence on our election. It seems almost ridiculous. There should be a cap of some sort. And he used to be a Republican for some reason. Now he's a Democrat. Nobody batting an eye at that, or the crazy amount of money he's spending. I think they want him to win because they're more worried about Bernie coming up ahead, and people would rather have somebody predictable rather than Bernie, who's kind of a unique individual. And him choosing Hillary, wow, that just brings back 2016 back all over again. I'm with her and Bloomberg together with that much money, and she won't be the star attraction. It'll be Bloomberg, but her name will be on the ticket. A lot of loyal fans are still gonna go to them. So don't underestimate his wealth, and don't underestimate how shrewd and clever he is. I don't like our election being influenced by money this much, but so far he hasn't done anything illegal. So all I can do is sit and watch and see how things play out. But regardless, I hope Trump is prepared. I mean, I'm sure he's going to call him Mini Mike and Crooked Hillary or something along those lines. So I'm not worried about Trump right now. I'm just worried about other Democrats feeling that money is the way to go. That follow the money and you'll move up in the world. I don't like that idea. But I just keep an eye on him. This individual seems corrupt. Not corrupt, but this individual seems sly to the point of corruption, maybe. But you never know. He hasn't done anything bad. Everybody's innocent. That's the great thing about the U.S. is that everybody's innocent. She's innocent. He's innocent until they're proven otherwise. So everyone is innocent. So good luck to them and see how things play out. I think he's just floating the ideas. I think it's too early. But it's something you should be aware of. $100 million a month. $100 million. That's like $3 million a day, at least. Seems like that should be some red flags. Somebody needs to take a look if that's a good idea to have that system going. We'll leave it at that. There's a few. Here's all the links. I think the Politico, New York Post. There's a few major news companies that are out there reporting on this. My advice is look them all up, read up on them, find out what you think, and follow up on it. Don't be blindsided if this gentleman with zero votes or zero, if the super PAC, all of it goes to him because of wealth. A lot of rules have changed already because of his wealth. He made the right donations, and now some rules are like, oh, you know what? He can debate now. We'll see how it plays out. And then the last but not least, Trump is not a king, but he knows exactly what to say to get everybody riled up. Nice quote, though. And this isn't This is him gloating that he got past the impeachment without generally unscathed. He actually raised a ton of money. I think he raised $60 million in 1 month in January during the impeachment, which is seems odd. I guess the supporters see him in trouble and want to help him out, and some of the things about impeachment seemed shady and questionable. So I can see how the people will want to back, like, hey, that's not fair. Why isn't this a speedy trial? Why is this person not allowed to call for witnesses? This and that. So I can see why they come to his support, to his backing. I mean, they want to help him out because they think it's unfair. But he's not a king. He's just a troll. He's just funny. He's self-deprecating. He makes fun of himself most of the time. Every once in a while, he'll throw a tweet that will get the whole world riled up, and that's how he spent, I think, $300 million for the election for 2016, which is pennies compared to everyone else. I mean, it's still quite a bit of money, but he knows how to manipulate the media, and him calling himself a king, and when you strike a king, you better get him. He he knows how to push buttons. So kudos to him. I've never seen a man manipulate the whole narratives like he does. Kind of admirable. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have a good Monday tomorrow morning. It's Monday for me, but I know it's evening around the world. So good luck with that. Enjoy your Sunday if it's still Sunday for you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.